The message arrived while I was driving my daughter home from school, one short line glowing on my phone screen like a quiet insult. We only invited the elites. I don't want you and your daughter to look out of place. My wife's sister, sent to my wife, forwarded to me. My wife didn't add a comment. She didn't defend me or our daughter. She simply forwarded it, as if to say, "See, this is the decision. Accept it." I felt the road narrow beneath the tires. My daughter sat beside me humming softly, unaware, innocent, 15 and still believing the world was kinder than it is. I read the message again. The phrasing was too polished, too rehearsed, and the silence that followed was even sharper. My wife didn't explain why we specifically were excluded, or why her family, people I had supported, funded, and held together, had suddenly drawn a line around us, a line that placed us on the outside. Her silence was a shape I had seen before, a shape that meant she agreed. No argument came from me, just a simple reply, "We won't be attending." The car kept moving, but something in me stopped, paused, shifted, because something about the message felt curated, almost like the wedding wasn't the real reason she wanted distance. And I knew, quietly, instinctively, that this wasn't about embarrassment. It was about guilt. Hers, not mine. Something was being hidden, and Christmas was coming. People don't pull away without cause. They drift when they're full of secrets, not shame. And my wife, careful, cold, immaculate, had been drifting for months. Late nights helping with wedding planning, sudden phone calls that ended when I entered the room, a new perfume she claimed her coworker gifted her. I watched it all, quietly. I registered every shift in her tone, every delayed response, but I said nothing, because silence reveals more than confrontation. Her family's disdain toward me wasn't new, but excluding our daughter? That was intentional. That was personal. That meant something had changed in their private group chats, long before I ever saw that message. I noticed other details, small, subtle, impossible to unsee once acknowledged. Her phone always face down, her smile slightly too rehearsed, her hand pulling away from mine as if by instinct. Then the moment that truly drew blood. Her sister, during a casual visit months earlier, had glanced at our daughter and said, "She really does look like him." At the time, I had laughed it off. I wasn't laughing now. 3 words haunted me. Look like him. Who was him? The question stalked me for days, then weeks. Every time my wife avoided my eyes, the question grew sharper. I didn't accuse her. I didn't raise my voice. Emotion gives the guilty comfort. I offered her nothing, just silence, observation, distance. What they don't realize is that I learned long ago, a calm man is far more dangerous than an angry one. I began investigating the way a surgeon cuts, clean, precise, without hesitation. First came the phone records, not messages, just call patterns, frequency, time of night, duration. A new number, always late, always under 10 minutes. A man who knew boundaries, or a man afraid of crossing them. Next came my daughter's school files, birth certificates, old photos, dates. None of it pointed to anything, until I noticed something I had never needed to question before. Her date of conception aligned perfectly with a 3-week period when I had been overseas for work. A project my wife had insisted I take, saying the time apart might help us reset. Interesting choice of words in hindsight. The guilt still wasn't proven, but the outline of it was visible. Then, quietly, without telling a soul, I took my daughter for a DNA test, for a school project. She didn't question it. She trusted me. The results would take 2 weeks. 2 weeks of watching my wife avoid my gaze. 2 weeks of pretending to plan Christmas together. 2 weeks of her sister posting wedding photos with captions dripping in condescension. I didn't break. I didn't accuse. I simply observed. The closer Christmas came, the colder she became, almost like she sensed something shifting beneath her feet. Christmas morning, the email arrived. DNA results available. My pulse didn't rise. My breath didn't accelerate. I simply stood, walked to the study, and opened the file. One line was enough. Probability of paternity, 0%. Still, I didn't react. Reactions are gifts for the guilty. Instead, I copied the report, folded it once, placed it inside a plain envelope, and slid it into my coat pocket. It was time. Family arrived for Christmas dinner. Her family. The same family that had deemed us not elite enough for their wedding. The house buzzed with their arrogance. I walked through it all silently, greeting no one. My wife noticed first the stillness in me, the calm. She approached, whispering, "What's wrong?" "Nothing," I said, handing her the envelope. "Just something you should see." She opened it with the casual curiosity of someone expecting a receipt or a card. Then her face drained, completely. She looked at me, then the report, then back at me, as if the words would rearrange into something less lethal. Her sister noticed the shift. "What's that?" My wife's voice cracked. "Nothing. It's a mistake." I raised an eyebrow. "Is it?" Her knees weakened, her breath hitched. Her hand trembled so violently the paper rustled like brittle leaves. I said nothing else. Truth doesn't need help destroying liars. Her sister stepped forward. "What's going on?" I turned to her with a calm so sharp it cut. "Ask your brother-in-law," I said. "He seems to have more claim to my daughter than I do." Silence detonated through the room. Her brother-in-law, the one who always hovered too close to my wife, who always offered her rides, who always called late to check in, froze. His face told the full story. He didn't deny it. He couldn't. My wife collapsed into a chair, whispering, "Please, not here. Please." But I wasn't raising my voice. I wasn't making a scene. I simply revealed the truth they worked so hard to hide. "You excluded my daughter from the wedding," I said quietly, "because she looks like him. And you were afraid the resemblance would expose everything." Her family stared at her with a mix of disgust and fascination. I leaned closer, calm, precise, final. "I'm not here for a fight. I'm here to return what was never mine." Then I placed my house keys on the table, walked past her family, and opened the front door. Outside, the air was cold, clean, uncomplicated. Behind me, I heard her sobbing. I didn't turn around. Pain pulls you backward. Clarity pushes you forward. For years, I thought loyalty was the glue that held a family together. Now I understood, truth is the blade that cuts you free. My daughter would know the truth someday, when she was ready, but she would know it from me, calmly, honestly, not as a weapon, but as a release. I walked down the driveway without a coat, without a plan, without fear. I had lost a marriage, but I had regained something far more valuable, myself. The door behind me slammed. Her voice broke the night. "Please come back." I didn't. Some things aren't repaired. Some truths aren't forgiven. And some exits, once taken, rewrite a life forever. I never looked back.